resulting in an immediate slip by Doug Coder. He might have got a good run back. There was a channel formed on the right side as we watch it back on replay, Tucker.
Here's an indication of what we're liable to see today. As you know, Don, it's rained all night here at Yale, and Doug Coder, as you said, had a lane up the middle. Unfortunately, lost his footing. The field is not artificial. It is a regular grass surface, and it will be slippery, tend to be slippery today.
This is Don Criqui with Tucker Frederickson. The Giants ready to go from offense, 1st and 10. The ball at their 15-yard line. Craig Morton gives off to Ron Johnson. The Jets chop it right down after a short gain. Richard Neal, number 81, the right defensive end, and the middle linebacker Jamie Rivers were on the stop. Looking at the Giants offensively, the wide receivers are 84 Walker Gillette and 82 Ray Rhodes. 38 Bob Tucker is the tight end. Morton is the quarterback, Joe Dawkins 26, and Ron Johnson number 30 are the running back. They're set in the I formation. 2 wide receivers come to the right. They work in a slot. Newsom, Barzalauskas, Gallagher, and Neal across the Jets defensive front. Dawkins tries to go wide, and coming up to make the hit is the outside linebacker Rich Lewis, number 57. As we look now at the Jet defensive unit, in addition to Newsom, Barzalauskas, Gallagher, and Neal, the linebackers are Godwin Turk, number 56 at the left side. Rivers, 54, is in the middle. Lewis, 57 at the right side. The cornerbacks on the right side, number 47, Roscoe Word, number 46, Rich Sowles. The strong safety is 22, Burgess Owens, and the free safety, 27, Phil Wise. It is 3rd and a long 8 for the Giants. Morton has time, triggers it downfield, but as you see, it comes in on the one hop. And so the Jet defense holds the first time the Giants have the ball. The intended receiver was number 82, Ray Rhodes. And the Giants will go into punt formation.
Well, the Giants are going to have to get the running game together. They really have not had a good performance from Ron Johnson yet this year, Don. And unfortunately, the weather conditions, it'll be a little bit difficult, especially with that revamped Jet line with Jim Bailey picked up from Baltimore and Newsom from New Orleans. A very large defensive line for the Jets. So it'll be a true test for the offensive line of the Jets. And I'm sure the Giants would like to see a good game out of Ronnie Johnson today.
Pacone is back deep. As Jennings hits the ball, they're going to get good field position. The Jets are. Pacone brings it inside the 40. Breaks it inside the 30. Cuts back inside the 25-yard line. He was knocked down by Jim Obradovich, number 89. But a low punt is fielded by the lone safety, Lou Pacone, and we'll watch him bring it back.
Not a good kick by Jennings. Almost a block right there on Brad Van Pelt. And Pacone almost breaks this game wide open. Good block right there on a Giant defender. And the spirits are high for the Jets all of a sudden. Real fine run by Pacone.
It was that. They break the huddle now with J.J. Jones at quarterback. Emerson Boozer and Mike Adamle are the setbacks. Adamle is the up back, 5'9", 195-pound fullback out of Northwestern. The pitch back goes to Emerson Boozer. Good blocks, and Boozer comes inside the 20, down close to the 19-yard line. Bob Schmidt, who's backing the line in the middle for the Giants, 59, was on the stop.
Here we go again. Joe Namath's not playing, as you can see. J.J. Jones pitches the ball to Emerson Boozer. Real fine running back. Good blocking out front. And pretty good pursuit by the linebacker there. Emerson Boozer is healthy. John Riggins is not healthy. That's Mike Adamle in at fullback now.
Excellent block by 88, the tight end Castor. A stand-up block, held off a couple of guys trying to move laterally. Here is a handoff, and as Adamle tries to cut back up the middle, you see him lose his footing. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the first down. The ball is down to the Giant 21-yard line. George Martin was on the stop. As you look at the Giant defense across the front, 78 Roy Hilton, 76 Jim Peterzak, 64 John Mendenhall, and 75 George Martin. The wide receivers for the Jets as they break the huddle. Coming out to the left is 83 Jerome Barkham, who's caught 85 passes in the last 2 years, 41 last season. Ed Bell is the other wide receiver. Now Pacone is in wide to the right. The tight end Castor. J.J. Jones has some time, triggers it in the flat, and Richard Castor makes the reception down at about the 14-yard line. Close to, but not quite far enough for a first down, as the free safety, Pete Athis of the Giants, made the stop. Athis and Powers are the deep backs.
One of the best tight ends in the business, Richard Castor, 6'4", got good speed. It's going to be a real long day for Pete Athis today out there. He's quite a good receiver. Pretty good tackle by Pete. He was there, and the height difference is a definite disadvantage for Pete Athis.
And now trying the placement is Pat Leahy, an All-American soccer player out of St. Louis University, number 5. It'll be a 31-yard attempt, lots of distance. It's good. So the Jets, on a 31-yard field goal, put up the first points of the day, and they lead 3-0, and we pause for this message.
29 White and 44 Carter.
Participating advertisers are the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Datsun and the 57 New York Metro Datsun dealers, and by Chase Manhattan Bank. The Jets lead 3-0. Doug Coder for the second time takes it at the 2, the 10, the 15, jumps over one man, leaps out across the 20, and is down to the 22-yard line. Gary Backus, number 59, and linebacker from Oklahoma out of the World Football League, is the first man down to make the stop for the New York Jets. This program is authorized under rights granted by the New York Giants and Channel 11 solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Giants and Channel 11 is prohibited. First quarter, 11:19 to play in it. Swing pass, and again, Morton triggers it a little low. Dawkins coming out with good hands made the catch. Got back to about the line of scrimmage, but that was all. The offensive linemen for the Giants, Willie Young and Doug Van Horn are the tackles. Tom Mullen and John Hicks are the guards. As the Giants break the huddle, they will have 2nd and 10. Bob Hyland is down over the ball at center. Walker Gillette comes wide to the right as Morton looks to throw again. He likes to go to Gillette. Here's a penalty marker. He's triggering it long. Gillette is out there. Makes the reception. He makes the reception, but there's a penalty marker down. We could have a hold, Tucker, against the Giants.
I am sure they got John Hicks for holding Carl Barzaluskas. I think John Hicks was quoted in the paper this week as saying that at times he has to hold. Some of these linemen are so big, and there's a perfect example. Barzaluskas, 6'6", 270. John Hicks is no small fellow himself, but they were watching him, and they sure got him there. There you can see John Hicks expressing his displeasure to the referee. Great enthusiasm. There's no question. Some of these linemen have to hold, offensive linemen have to hold once in a while. You hate to say it, but you just have to know how to get away with it, and this time John didn't get away with it.
Hicks and Barzaluskas are old friends dating back to the Big Ten when Hicks was an All-American at Ohio State and Barzaluskas was the big man in the Indiana defense. Played across from each other twice.
Last year, John Hicks and Barzaluskas were rookies, as you just said, Don, and I think Hicks had the best of him in the first exhibition, because we did watch that particularly. During the regular season, I think it was more or less a standoff. So this is the third meeting for the three of them.
Jet front four is vastly improved in the opinion of Coach Charlie Winter with the acquisition of Billy Newsom, who came from New Orleans for a #1 draft choice. The acquisition of Jim Bailey from Baltimore. And again, we have motion. It's against, I guess, Barzaluskas left early but didn't make contact, and John Hicks moved.
They said that maybe John Hicks drew him off sides. It looks like John Hicks and Barzaluskas are getting all attention right now. The referees especially.
So now the ball in the penalty yardage is set all the way back to the 6-yard line of the Giants. And there it's going to be 2nd down and 25. 2nd and 25, so Morton to throw will have to go into his own end zone. Quick drop, he's got a man open, and again Ray Rhodes was open coming across the middle, but Morton wasn't there with the ball. Morton comes in with spectacular passing numbers, has completed 69% of his passes in preseason for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 8 for 8 against San Diego for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns his last time out. That'll bring up 3rd and 25 for the New York Giants, dressed in blue as they huddle in their end zone. The Jets lead the game 3-0 here in the first quarter. They scored the first time they got the ball on a 31-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. Morton, quick drop, puts it up to Walker Gillette. Hard chop from the free safety, Phil Wise. The ball was right there, but Gillette couldn't hold on, and again, the Jet defense holds, and the Giants send in their punting unit. George Hunt, number 9, is going into punt. A man who is challenging for a place in the Giant roster, and that he's both a punter and a place kicker. And Lou Picone is back as a single safety for the Jets.
Number 9,
I think the never-ending discussion, which is better, artificial or regular turf. I think today is a good plus or a good situation for artificial turf. You don't lose your footing as easily as you do on the regular grass, and I think what we've seen so far is a perfect example.
Jennings angles his punt. Picone fields it on the run and gets it back down close to the Giant 30-yard line. Here's another. Los Angeles Rams lost to Buffalo last night.
You know, then I read in the paper all week how they try to play this game down. There's not the rivalry there used to be. Well, I tell you, there is that rivalry. That's why you're seeing this over-aggressive play right now. The Giants were caught for a little no-no. If you'd have seen John Hicks come on the field in his introduction, such enthusiasm, there's no question the rivalry still exists. I think the paper's trying to play it down a little bit, but it still exists, believe me.
It does indeed. The Giants so far have been assessed 3 penalties for 30 yards. It is now 1st and 10 for the Jets at the 15-yard line of the Giants. On a delay, they go back to Emerson Boozer, a free football inside the 10. The Giants have the ball.
Big John Mendenhall at the bottom of that. I think you're going to see a lot of it today. That ball is real slippery. We've talked about the field. It's slippery, and these backs are just going to have to hold on. It's going to be very difficult to run the ball today.
That won't be the first one. The last one. Carl Lockhart had his nose right in there. They have a very spirited game. The more these coaches, and Arnsbarger and Winter are old friends. They coached together at Baltimore under Weeb Eubank. Talk a lot during the season and in the off season. Charlie Winter grew up in Somerville, New Jersey, an avowed Giant fan, he says, but these players, it still means a great deal, too. This is a regular season game for them every year. It's 3-0 Jets. The Giants have back the ball. 1st and 10. They go to Dawkins. He comes across the 10 and out to the 12-yard line. Jamie Rivers, 54, the middle linebacker out of Bowling Green, and 280-pound Carl Barzalauskas. Combined on the tackle for the New York Jets. It was a gain of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
The Jets have really improved that offense, that defensive front four. As we said earlier, Bailey and Newsom along with Barzalauskas and Neal, that's a pretty good front four. They're looking for linebackers right now, and that's really what they're trying to add to now.
Again, Morton is faced with long yardage. Rhodes is wide to the right. They go to the run, and Ron Johnson turns the corner. Here's a penalty marker down as Johnson gets out to the 19-yard line. The guards getting out in front very nicely. Hicks and Mullen. A Giant is down on the field, but is getting up. Willie Young was shaken up. Appears to be all right. But another penalty against the Giants, Tucker.
I don't know who they had there, but and the referees are just getting a little bit over-anxious as far as I'm concerned. It looked like a good play to me. Good block with a tight end. Bob Tucker came down on Newsom, had him out of the picture. A good-looking play. Didn't pick up that many yards, but a good-looking play. John Hicks was out in front. And the referees are being a little touchy today.
Yeah, this is a good football game. The energy level of this game is about 30% higher than you see in most preseason games. They're really going after it.
It's a good thing for in one respect, the weather is probably a good factor today. The fans aren't drinking quite as much as they did last year and the year before. The combination of the rivalry, the combination of the rivalry and the amount of liquor consumed with the fans, it usually creates havoc towards the middle of the third period, Don.
Amen. I've been here.
I know, last year especially.
It is now 2nd down and 14 for the Giants. The ball at their 6-yard line. Here is Morton. Gets time, triggers it out. Man is open. O'Bradovich, the tight end. Or Tucker, the tight end, diving for the ball at the 30. He was open. Morton was just a little bit long.
Good protection.
Barzalauskas now.
Good protection on the part of the offensive line. Barzalauskas doing a twist here, and John Hicks is going to pick him up right now. Good block.
I think he hit him.
He knocked him down almost. A crossing pattern by Bob Tucker, wide open, but I think Craig Morton is finding the footing difficult also and having a little trouble setting up and consequently overthrew the ball.
Barzo, as they call him, is full grown. 6'6", 280.
You better hope he's full grown.
He's playing right over the nose of the center, Bob Hyland. It is now 3rd down and 14 for the Giants at their 6-yard line. Again, the Giant pass blocking holds up, almost intercepted by the free safety, Phil Wise. He'd have gone for 6. Right in his hands, couldn't hold on to it, and so the Giants are forced to punt again.
Bob Tucker was yelling at the referee. He's still looking at him. You can't quite see it. Here you can see it. He was almost interfered with, and I'm sure that Bob has had a couple of choice words. He's still talking to the referee right now. Craig Morton's having trouble finding his footing, and that's the problem. He's just not setting up, not getting back and setting up properly.
Dave Jennings standing in the Giant end zone to punt. Again, Picone is back, and he is standing at the Giant 44, awaiting the punt of Jennings. He hits the ball high, not too deep. It'll be fielded at the 40. Picone trying to go wide. A great special teams play by Robert Giblin. Rookie out of Texas at El Paso, Robert Giblin, number 28, who made several first-team All-America clubs. We might have, let's see, there's a penalty marker down, and we might have had a roughing of the kicker. We did, a penalty against the Jets. So the Giants will be beneficiaries of that and get a first down. Tucker?
This is always the way it is. Every year, if you recall, the first one in 1969 was the Jets just annihilated us, but it started out a real sloppy game. There's so much enthusiasm. Sometimes you get carried away with it, and that's what's happening. The Jets this time were over-aggressive. The Giants have been a little aggressive the first couple, 3 or 4 minutes. It doesn't mean it's not going to turn into a good football game, but these players, as I said earlier, there is that natural rivalry, and they are enthusiastic right now. John Hicks, look at him out there. John's going to learn not to talk about holding in the paper, though, I'll tell you that.
Don't wave a red flag.
They were looking for it.
50-yard penalty against the Jets is for a
The penalty, personal foul penalty, came after the punt and after the reception by Picone. So the Jets maintain possession of the ball, but they are set back to their 41-yard line. First and 10 there. J.J. Jones, the free agent out of Fisk, hands off to Emerson Boozer. He rips into the left side of the Giant defense, gets out across the 40-yard line, and out close to the 46, where Brian Kelly makes the hit. Ray Waiteka, the offensive line coach of the Giants, setting down his troops, talk it over with him.
gain of 5. Second and 5.
It's going to be second down and 5 now.
Good blocking on part of the offensive line for the Jets. Here comes John Mendenhall over. I'm sure he'll probably wind up making the player at least be on the pile.
Running away from Mendenhall. This time they go right up the middle. And the carry looks like it's going to be good for a first down as the Jet line fires out. Mike Adamle, who is a real football player, gives it to you in every area. Special teams as a running back. Knock against him is his size. He really has a lot of size, 195 pounds, but he's only about 5'8". The tackles for the Jets are Robert Woods and Winston Hill. Randy Rasmussen, Gary Petz are the guards. Wayne Mulligan is down over the ball at center. It's first and 10 for the Jets at the Giant 48-yard line. J.J. Jones fakes the draw. He's looking deep, triggers it long downfield, and Castor can't get to the ball. Richard Castor had a finger on the ball at the Giant 20-yard line.
Good protection once again for J.J. Jones. Receiver was wide open, a little bit overthrown. Good-looking play. There's Castor coming across. There are some changes in the defensive alignment for the Giants, Don. George Martin is starting. It's not that Gregory couldn't play. I think he still might play. He's about healthy, but Martin is impressed. Brian Kelly is now the strong side linebacker. Bob Schmidt has looked real good at middle linebacker, and they're trying Kelly at the right side, which is the strong side. So those are the changes.
Now it is second down and 10 for the Jets at the 48-yard line of the New York Giants. Jets are leading 3-0. They go to Adamle on a draw, looking to run straight ahead. The Giants shut it off after a gain of about a yard. Mendenhall against a double team block, throws a man aside and made the hit on Adamle.
Here's an isolation on a legitimate all-pro. He's usually double time. This time he played off the block of Randy Rasmussen, overran the play and came back to make the play. Really a good football player. Great pursuit, great strength. At least I hope he made the play.
Got an arm on him, knocked him down. He did.
That's close enough.
And so now it will be third down and 9 for the Jets. J.J. Jones has wide men to either side. Dropping back. He gets time, puts it up. Adamle is out there as the interception. Henry Stuckey picks it up for the Giants. Across the 30. He is across the 40. Run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And the Giants get back the ball. There's a penalty marker down where the quarterback of the Jets, J.J. Jones, threw the ball. It's probably a hold against the Jets. Mendenhall's waving. It's our ball. Decline it.
I think the Jets took a look at the San Diego Giant films last week. The same play the Giants used so well last week. The two backs coming out of the backfield, and J.J. Jones was going to one of the backs. Here we go. It's two circle passes. Two-circle route, shall we say, for the backs, just overthrown, way overthrown. Stuckey comes across, makes the interception, picks up his blockers here, and the Giants now have a little bit of a field position.
So the Giants get a turnover. Their second of the game. You'll recall they recovered the fumble earlier. There is Henry Stuckey from the Miami Dolphins, acquired for a fifth-round draft choice, who picked it up for the Giants, a starting cornerback. Morton goes to the run, goes to Dawkins, turns upfield, and Dawkins gets out across the 45 to about the 47. The Jets again shut down the run after a short gain. Richard Neal, who is the strongest player in the New York Jets team, 6'3", 260, made the stop, and here is Henry Stuckey. He played collegiately at Missouri. Not a whole lot of size, about 170 pounds, but he can hit. Last week, if you watched the San Diego game, he hit their 240-pound fullback Bo Matthews and sent him off limping. Straight head-on tackle. It is now 2nd down and 8. Morton goes up the middle. And again, the Jets shut down the run. Newsome and Barzilowskis. We'll watch again as Hicks moves out on Barzilowskis. A double team on him.
Pretty good little double team. This Barzilowskis just sort of hung in there. He's a big and a good football player. Awful difficult for the running backs to get their footing. The quarterback's having trouble setting up. The receivers are having difficulty. And you never think about it, but the offensive line, they've got to get out there and get their footing also, and it's difficult for them, too. On a day like today, in a field like this, it's a little bit of an advantage for the defense, I think.
3rd down and 6. Morton is going to have to hurry. Now he puts it up. A man is open, Walker Gillette. He is down to the 32-yard line of the Jets. He has a 1st down. And he could have had more had he not slipped when he caught the ball. Gillette wide open in the heart of the Jet zone defense. Bill Wise fell on the free safety, but there's a big gainer on the play.
I got to believe that the Jets, in fact, I read it in the paper this morning, that they were worried about Craig Morton rolling. I don't think that was planned. I think he adapted and came out of the pocket. But they are worried about his rollout. He is throwing 69% of his pass completions, and they are worried about his rolling out. I'm sure they don't want to get him outside.
That was an 18-yard gainer, the first gainer of the day for the Jets on the Giants on the pass. And again, as the Giants try to go up the middle, the Jets closed the hole, and this time the middle linebacker, Jamie Rivers, came rocketing over the top to put a head-on shot against Ron Johnson. A gain of just 2 yards on the play down to the 30-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. We're in the first quarter, and the New York Jets are in the lead 3-0 on a 31-yard field goal, the first time they got the ball by Pat Leahy. Rose to the left, Walker Gillette to the right. Again, Morton has time, and again, Walker Gillette is open, and the play is broken up nicely by Rich Sowles, who almost had a play on an interception.
We have another isolation on John Hicks and Barzilowski. They're really drawing all the attention of everybody. It's a real battle. I mean, there's a little holding right there. But, you know, that's a little bit unfair. Barzilowski's doing the same thing to him. They're going to be going out all day, so we'll see plenty of them. Craig is just not setting up. That field is really slippery, and that's why the pass is just a little bit late. Sowles almost had a real fine play there.
The Giants only have 12 yards rushing and 6 carries. Richard Neal, Billy Newsom, the two ends. That was 87. Newsom took off. And it'll be another penalty assessment against the Giants. Illegal motion. Doug Van Horn pulled up. And so instead of 3rd and 8, it's going to be 3rd down and 13 for the Giants. The ball at their 35-yard line of the Jets. Got to see if you can read that clock, Tucker.
We're down Down to 4 minutes, 3 minutes all of a sudden. I think they're winding down quickly.
Morton puts it up. Diving attempt by the tight end, Bob Tucker.
They could have got Phil Wise right there for interference, but they didn't call it. Bob Tucker wants to know about it, too. Look at that. Tell him, Bobby. Phil Wise was beaten, and he just threw himself out in front of Bobby Tucker, and Bobby got over him, but slowed him down enough that the ball was overthrown. That's 2 plays that Bob Tucker feels that should have been called by the refs.
Jets a little disorder as they have trouble getting out their punt return team. I don't think that felt the Giants were going to punt the ball, looking for a long field goal. Picone is back. Jennings will hit the ball from the Jet 45. Knuckleballs it nicely. Now this is George Hunt. Gets it down inside the 5. He's going to get it out of bounds inside the 5. George Hunt puts one out at about the 2-yard line. Stanky was down chasing the football out. So 2 weeks in a row now, Hunt's come up with a big play, and now at the score, the Jets 3 and the Giants nothing. Let's pause for this commercial message.
You know your friend who thinks he knows everything about tennis? Well, tell him Herman's end-of-season tennis sale is on now. Everything at enormous savings. You know your other friend who thinks he knows everything about golf? Well, tell him Herman's golf sale is on now.
This is Don Criqui back at Yale Bowl. A misting rain is again starting to fall here. A crowd somewhere in the neighborhood of 35,000 is assembled for this 7th preseason meeting between the Giants and the Jets. The Giants have won 3, the Jets 2. There was 1 tie. The Giants won here last year in the preseason, but you remember in November 10th of the regular season when they played again, the Jets won when Joe Namath threw to Emerson Boozer in overtime, and that started what is now an 8-game win streak. The Jets winning their final 6 games of the regular season and their first 2 preseason games. Right now they lead the Giants 3-0 late in the first quarter. The scoreboard clock is out, so we do not have an official time, but it is late in the first quarter. The Jets scored in a 31-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. And now after a fine punt by George Hunt of the New York Giants, the Jets go on offense 1st and 10. Rookie J.J. Jones, who was out all last year with a back injury after coming on as a walk-on during training camp and making the club, is starting at quarterback. He takes the ball himself, looking for room to operate, gets his nose out to about the 4-yard line from the 2. The middle linebacker, Bob Schmidt, number 59, was on the stop along with John Mendenhall.
Gain of 2. 2nd and 8 for the Jets at their own 5.
Jones had a problem in the offseason. He tried to change his passing style. He watched films of Joe Namath, and he came to camp this summer throwing off the wrong foot, as only Namath can do. So they had to try to turn his style back to the fundamental one. Here is Mike Adamle angling off. He is hit and driven back after a gain of maybe 3 yards out to the 7 or 8 yard line. Carl Lockhart coming up from a deep safety position hit him. And that'll bring up 3rd down and about 5 for the New York Jets. The ball at their 8-yard line. Tucker?
J.J. Jones doesn't have a bad person to pattern himself after, but as I said earlier, the running backs, quarterbacks, you really can't teach these people how to play anymore. If they haven't learned by now the natural ability they have, it's
Well,
not
it's all right to have Joe Namath's style, but you got to have his arm if you're going to throw off the wrong foot.
Sure. Or Ron Johnson's feel, or Emerson Boozer's feel for running the ball. Same thing. You can't teach it.
Adamle looks for room, and there's none there as the Jets close it down, get him a hole, and then the Giants fill it and knock him down for a gain of only about 1 yard. It'll be 4th down. Watch it again.
He's a good little runner. He's slippery. 5'9", 185, which is pretty good size. He's pretty good hole right there, but it's going to fill in quite quick. Here comes a linebacker, Brian Kelly. There's Peter Zach, John Mendenhall. They all show up.
You can't go too far wrong saying Mendenhall on the play.
No, you sure can. That ball sort of attracts Mendenhall, I think. It's magnetic for him.
Pete Athis is back as a deep safety for the Giants now, punt receiver. Henry Stuckey comes in the game. They're going to try a pass, and they do, and they complete it to Jazz Jackson, and he has the 1st down and more. Jackson on the run is across the 40 and all the way out to the 45-yard line.
You tell me this is not for real.
34-yard gain on a fake punt.
My hat's off to Charlie Winter. That is unbelievable. I was about to comment a great picture. This is unbelievable. Greg Gantz about to throw a pass from their end zone to Jazz Jackson out there. This game is wide open. You can tell me it's not a rivalry. What a play.
So on a 34-yard gain on a 4th down pass from just about their own end zone, the Jets come up to the 45-yard line and have a first down.
That is unbelievable.
And now the gun has sounded. That is the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Jets 3 and the Giants nothing. Let's pause for station identification.
They will be beating the New England Patriots. Ticket at $7.50.
Mercury's new model.
Jack Gregory has come in to play defensive end for the Giants. He'll be positioned on the right side. Rich Dvorak, 66, is in as the left end. Athos and Stuckey at the corners. Lockhart and Powers are the safeties for the Giants. 1st and 10 for the Jets at their 45. They go to the run, and with the ball is Davis, the much talked about running back from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hit, he drives ahead to midfield. A gain of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The middle linebacker, 59, Bob Schmidt, made the stop for the Giants. Tucker?
T. Davis is a good running back from Pittsburgh. Never really quite did what they thought he could do down there, but every time we played him, and he's been around for a while, he has looked fantastic. I'm sure that he is going to fit in well with the Jets' plans.
The rap on him at Pittsburgh was he couldn't catch the ball coming out of the backfield. He sure can run with it.
He sure run with it, though.
Eddie Bell is wide to the right. Barkham is out 3 yards to the left. Again, they go to the run. Again, they go to Davis. This time, the Giants are there to close it down. Peter Zach, 76, was the first man on the play, along with Jack Gregory.
76, Peter Zach.
I'm sure the Giants are happy to see Jack Gregory back in there. He hasn't been in since the first play of the first exhibition game with the Patriots. He made a good hit, broke his nose, and had his knee hurt, and hasn't been back since. A good football player. Getting back to that play from the end zone, I'm sort of surprised that the Giants let it happen. The Giants and the Jets have a way of spying a little bit on each other before this game, and I'm sort of surprised that somebody didn't scout for that one.
3rd and short yardage now, 3rd and 2. They go to Davis, and he is ahead very close to the first down. He had to get inside the 45-yard line, and we'll see where they spot the ball. It appears he might have it. Now they're putting the ball down just short of the 45, just outside it. Didn't get there.
39 Powers on the stop for the
Back in 1969, which was the first one, just after the Jets had won the Super Bowl, and Allie Sherman was the coach and I was playing, before this game, we used to check in the trees, we checked anybody that came on the field with the idea that they may be scouting our plays. Somebody sure scouted. We got beat pretty good.
Jones, the quarterback, leaps ahead and gets the first down himself over his center, Wayne Mulligan. And so the Jets drive on. They now have the ball at the 44-yard line of the Giants. And there it is, 1st and 10. We are early in the second quarter. The Jets are in the lead here at Yale Bowl, 3-0. They scored in a 31-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. The Jets have turned the ball over twice to the Giants. Once on a fumble recovery, once on an interception by Robert Giblin. The big play that kept this drive alive for the Jets was a 4th down play, a pass by the punter Greg Gant. J.J. Jones looking deep, triggers it out. A man is open, Barkham, and he has it for a touchdown for the Jets. Jerome Barkham had a step on the defense. Lockhart was back there with him. Athos was back there with him. Henry Stuckey was covering him on the corner, and Lockhart came over to help.
Lots of time to throw the ball. Barkham has plenty of speed and good size. There you just see, he's just stronger than the other two backs there, Spider. And just took it away from him. Real fine pass by J.J. Jones.
And a fine reception, diving reception into the end zone for the touchdown. Jones has completed 2 passes and 4 attempts for 50 yards and 1 touchdown. That one was from 44 yards out. The extra point by Leahy, soccer style, is good. And all of a sudden, the Jets have opened up a 10-point advantage here early in the second quarter. Now with the score, the Jets 10 and the Giants nothing. Let's pause for this message. The Jets will kick off again. Pat Leahy has the ball teed up at the Jet 35-yard line. Marsh White to your right, 29, and Doug Coder, 44, are back deep for the Giants. The Jets are in the lead, 10-0. After the long touchdown pass from Jones to Jerome Barkham. This is Coder fielding the ball at the 7, 10, the 15, the 20. Coder's across the 25, out across the 30, and out close to the 32-yard line. And there the Giants will go on offense, 1st and 10, down to make the play on special teams for the Jets with Steve Davis.
Good run back by Coder. If you recall, last year he had a fine game. Really got a chance to play when Ronnie Johnson got hurt. Had 2 TDs, 1 real fine run for a 50-yard TD last year. Good blocking up front, and Coder has a way of finding the right place to run.
Craig Morton sprinting out, loops the ball up much too high for fullback Joe Dawkins to get to. Morton was in bed about 3 days this week with flu. Picked up towards the end of the week. There was some question as to whether he'd play, but he hasn't been sharp at all early in the game.
I still say he's having trouble with this field. The footing is very difficult. He's not setting up right. There he sprinted out, but he came sort of opposite the way he usually sprints out right. He came left this time. The Jets are really worried about that, and they want to shut that off. Receiver was open. They'd have had about 5 or 6 yards there, Dawkins, but the ball was poorly thrown.
Arnsberger has a lot of quarterback motion in his offense. A lot of set plays with a quarterback rolling to either side. Now Morton goes to the run. Here comes Dawkins. Nice block by Ron Johnson as Dawkins turns the corner, gets out to about the 33-yard line. On a 2nd and 10, he got 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Rich Sowles made the tackle.
Good block, as you said, Don, by Ron Johnson. Getting back to Morton. He's big and strong. He's 6'4", 215. He's got deceptive speed and can get out there. And you're right, when the blocking does sort of fall down a little bit up front, it's the time that Arnsberger likes for his quarterback to roll out, and he does it well.
3rd and 8 now for the New York Giants. Morton throws, has his man. Walker Gillette gets the first down out to the 42-yard line. You may remember 10 years ago, I know you certainly do, Tucker, that when Joe Namath came out of Alabama, every scouting system in the country had him as the #1 quarterback, and Morton was the #2 man out of California at Berkeley. And you were the #1 draft choice.
Somebody messed up, I'll tell you that. Still good football players, both of them.
It is now a handoff to Fake, and a beautifully thrown ball to Ron Johnson swinging out of the backfield. Great play fake by quarterback Craig Morton, faking to his fullback Dawkins, then he swings it out and loops the ball perfectly to Ron Johnson for yet another Giant first down as they drive on now. They've advanced the ball down to the Jet 45-yard line.
Good looking play. Good fake to Dawkins, the fullback. Left Ronnie Johnson wide open in the flat. They were having trouble running the ball, so I guess Craig is going to have to put it up in the air a little bit more than he has been.
Carl Chandler is down over the ball at center. In for Bob Highland. Barzilowskis as they switch to an overmatch now. Going strong on the left side of the defensive front. Trying to get a better alignment for the rush. Here's a swing pass going to Dawkins. He gets inside the 45-yard line. A short gain to about the 43. Richard Lewis, the right side linebacker, made the stop as Gogolak starts to loosen up. Apparently he'll be the placement man at least to lead off the game.
We haven't seen Pete all year. They've used George Hunt. They had one field goal in the 2 exhibition games. George Hunt, I guess O'Brien had one against San Diego.
He had a good one, a 42-yarder. Morton right now is 5 for 13 for 42 yards. We are early in the second quarter. The Jets are in the lead 10-0. They scored in the first quarter on a 31-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. And then they burned the Giants secondary on a 44-yard pass from J.J. Jones to Jerome Barkham for a touchdown. Now the Giants are starting to move the ball, combining the run and the pass. Morton doing a lot of sprinting out. Sends wide receivers to either side. Rhodes to the right. As they go up the middle on the run on a draw play, on a 2nd and a long 8, the carry by Dawkins is down close to the Jet 40, perhaps just inside it. That'll bring up 3rd and just about 5 yards to go for the first down.
The Jets seem to be set at middle linebacker. Jamie Rivers has taken over for Atkinson and had a real fine year from what I understand last year. So they're looking for outside linebackers. The #1 draft choice, who actually was their #3, was Richard Wood, a good athlete out of USC. They're trying to fit him in. Godwin Turk has looked good in the preseason, so they're trying to find 2 outside linebackers.
On 3rd and 5, the throw is up and too high. Johnson was the intended receiver. That brings up 4th down. And Jennings, the Giant punter, comes out. Jamie Rivers out of Bowling Green, when he was first with the Cardinals, was one of the best-looking middle linebackers in the league. Had a very, very bad knee operation, knee injury, required surgery. He was a long time coming back, and now he's rounding back into form.
Well, he was with Winter over at St. Louis and had some good years there. He was knocking people down when I was playing, and looked real good last year.
An angle punt by Jennings. It'll hop out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at the 7, and there is a penalty marker down at the 19.
In case you fans don't know it, Namath has a pulled muscle in his rib cage, and with the score 10-0, we feel certain we won't see Namath today. It would be sort of nonsensical to put him in there with a footing, and especially with him leading. So we probably won't see Namath. John Riggins, the real fine fullback, has got a bruised knee, and we won't see him either. David Knight, their number 2 receiver last year, has also got a bad knee. We probably won't see him either.
In fact, he just came out of the hospital. They hope he'll have him back by about the 5th regular season game. The ruling on the penalty marker down was that it fell out of the official's pocket. There's no penalty. So the Jets will go on offense where the punt went out of bounds at their 7-yard line. 1st and 10. They lead 10-0 here in the second quarter. Tight backfield, straight T set, 2 tight ends. They want to get some running room, looking to blast right off the ball. They go to the run, and here is Davis, and the Giants are there to knock him down for a loss. John Mendenhall came across, got him low, and then some of the Giant backs came up and hit him high. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 12.
The Giants had some trading activity last week that I'm sure you're aware of. They let Leon McQuaid go to Boston. They traded Eldridge Small to Cleveland, and they traded Ron Hornsby, which I think really they felt they could get a player for, but wound up just getting an undisclosed draft choice. So those 3 players are veterans, are gone now.
Run straight up the middle, gets out close to the 11-yard line, well short of a 1st down. That was a 2nd and 12 carry.
I'm a little surprised that Arnsparger didn't get a player or 2 for those players, but I guess that the other teams are just not letting the type of players go that the Giants require, and consequently settled for draft choices.
Again, they go with that straight T backfield. Bob Burns is the fullback in the middle. Davis and Gresham are the running backs. J.J. Jones gives to Davis. Davis gets out, and here's a loose football, blown dead. At the 15, that was a 3rd down and 7 carry. The Jets are short of the 1st down. And so their punting unit comes out. Lockhart comes up from the deep secondary to make the tackle for the Giants. Very overcast day, very light misting rain falling. The field is quite good condition for the heavy rain that fell earlier in the day, but it is slippery on the surface.
It's a heavy field anyway. This is well kept. It doesn't get much play. Well, I guess it did last year with the Giants and Yale both playing on it, but it's in perfect condition, but it is a heavy field. It's just tough to run on, get any kind of speed out of it. At least I had trouble.
Coder and Athas are back here at Athas looking to field the ball, then lets it hop. It goes out of bounds at about the Giant 48-yard line. So the Giants will go on offense again. 1st and 10 as they trail in this game 10-0. And now with that score 10-0 Jets, let's pause for this commercial message. This is Don Criqui with Tucker Fredrickson back at the Yale Bowl. The Giants have the football trailing 10-0 in the second quarter. The ball is at their 48-yard line following Greg Gant's punt. At quarterback for the Giants is Craig Morton. Ray Rhodes is to the lower portion of your screen as the flanker back left. Walker Gillette wide to the right. They go to the run, and Ron Johnson shoots up the middle and gets across midfield and down close to the 47-yard line of the Jets. Billy Newsom, number 87 in his 6th year from Grambling, and Rich Lewis combined on a tackle.
Fans got on Ronnie Johnson a little bit on the introduction. He hasn't had a decent game this year. Of course, we've only 2 preseason games so far, so you really can't tell. But he had an off year last year. He's still a great athlete, and the Giants do need a good Ron Johnson this year to have a good football team.
Got almost 6 there. Again, they go to Johnson. This time he almost breaks it, and Johnson gets down to the 41-yard line. He has a 6-yard gain and a 1st down.
That's the kind of running Ron Johnson normally does. Good blocking up front. Good lead block by Joe Dawkins, the fullback, and Ron Johnson is a fine athlete, as I said, and that's the type of things he has to do to help this team.
Had a couple of great years as a Giant. 1 year for almost over 1,100 yards. He had 2,000-yard plus seasons. Here's Willie Young, who moved out well on the last play. It is 1st and 10 for the Giants at the Jet 41. They go to the first back through, but the Jets are there to shut it off and throw him down. Jim Bailey, number 76. A 6-year veteran from Kansas who came from the Baltimore Colts for a draft choice. Was on the stop, number 76.
That's a little bit of a give play. I don't think they really blocked anybody up front. They faked a pitch out to Ron Johnson. That big Jet defensive line has been very aggressive in the first half so far. They just felt maybe with their good flow they'd get him out of position, and it did not work.
So now Craig Morton and the Giants are faced with 2nd and long, 2nd and 11. He's got to trigger it. He gets it off. A man is open. Ray Rhodes has the ball inside the 20 and all the way down to the 17-yard line. Rich Lewis knocks down the Roadrunner, Lonesome Rhodes, but there's a penalty marker down, a personal foul, roughing the passer. The play will go.
There, Craig had time to set up. You'll see he gets time to set up now. Good blocking up front. Ball's right on target. Ray Rhodes does a little spinning, and it's got good balance, as you can see right there. Has been the best receiver in camp, although hasn't caught too many passes in 2 preseason games.
And now for the first time in the game, the Giants are challenging, and even more so as the penalty yardage is stepped off. The ball is set down to the 8-yard line of the Jets, and there the Giants will have it 1st and goal.
They got Barzaluskas for roughing Craig Morton after the play, so there's still some aggressiveness out there.
The referee, Fred Wyant, giving the single. Now wide to the right is Walker Gillette. Going out to the left is Ray Rhodes. He was a running back at Texas Christian, gained almost 800 yards 1 year, then transferred to Tulsa, became a wide receiver. Penalty markers down. We're going to have motion against the Giants as Dawkins hits it in. I think it's going to come back. Dawkins on a power sweep steps into the end zone, but I believe it's going to come back. A penalty marker went down as soon as the Giants got the play in motion.
Maybe not.
No, it's going to go. It's a touchdown. Offside against the Jets. The Jets seeing that kind of motion in the backfield for the first time. Apparently somebody left early. It was the first time the Giants used that offensive set and went to the sweep, and Dawkins took it in. And I think some of the Jets laid off the play a little bit when they saw the penalty marker go down.
The penalty marker went down. I think you might be right. Ray Rhodes came across to add another blocker for Dawkins, and it was just good blocking up front. Ronnie Johnson had a good block on the linebacker, and Rhodes threw a good block out there. They just overloaded that zone, and Dawkins had plenty of room.
Gogolak hits the point after attempt. It is up and good, and the Giants are back in the ball game now here midway through the second quarter. With the score, the Jets 10 and the Giants 7. Let's pause for this commercial message.
Kenny Gogolak to kick off for the Giants. 43 Jackson deep for the Jets.
This is Don Criqui with Tucker Fredrickson at Yale Bowl. Pete Gogolak is ready to kick off as the touchdown run goes. The penalty marker against the Jets. Dawkins puts up the Giants' first points. Gogolak the point after. And here is Gogolak's kickoff. Jazz Jackson at the 7. 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. He's going to break it. They got an angle on him. They'll cut him down at about the 45-yard line, and now he gets out of bounds inside the 35. Jazz Jackson broke the first wave of tacklers, almost took it the distance. Robert Giblin came across to get him.
Jazz Jackson has some pretty good blocking up front. You watch that wedge knock the people down. Selfridge is going to get knocked down right here. Bob Burns knocks him down. Almost made the tackle, and there's nobody there now. Somebody is down way back there. And old Pete Gogolak's going to get a chance to make a tackle here. And I got a feeling he gets juked a little bit. Come on, Pete, you got to get your head up.
On the run, it's Steve Davis trying to go wide. Gregory grabs him, throws him down. A 1st and 10 carry at the Giant 33-yard line results in no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. We have no official time for you because the scoreboard clock has been out since the beginning of the game. It would appear to be somewhere around 6 minutes to go in the first half. The Jets are in the lead 10-7. They scored the first 10 points of the games. Hour and 4, there's about 3 minutes officially left. Jets with 84 yards passing, unofficially 48 yards rushing throughout the first 2 quarters. A fake. Jones is looking deep, and they get him way, way back. Jones goes down at the 49-yard line. Rich Dvorak, number 66. A second-year man from Wichita State. 6'4", 240 pounds, playing the left defensive end. Came in and cut the quarterback.
Could have been a good-looking play. Castor was open down here. I think Jones wanted to go to a good fake to Davis right here, and Davis slips and misses Dvorak right there. And that was the problem. Could have been a good-looking play.
And so it is now 3rd down and 22 for the Jets as they are taken out of field goal range. The ball all the way back to their 45-yard line of the Giants. Now a 5th defensive back is in for the Giants. Jim Steinke is in the game. Wide to the left is Picone. Flank to the right, Jerome Barkham for the Jets. Going with the long count. Jones looking deep. Puts it up. It's overthrown. Lou Picone coming across left to right was open momentarily. And the ball came in high. We'll look at it again.
22 for the Jets and the Giants 45.
Pretty good blocking up front. There's Randy Rasmussen blocking on Mendenhall. And they could have called that for holding right there. Good blocking. A real fine guard, 9-year pro, Randy Rasmussen. The Giants are going to have to get a little bit better rush than they're getting. It's either they're not getting a good rush or the Jet offensive line is doing a real fine job.
And now Athos and Coder go back as twin safeties for the Giants. They're standing inside the Giant 20-yard line. We are late in the second quarter here at Yale Bowl as the misting rain continues to fall. There is Doug Coder, 44 to the left. Athos back with him. And now with the score of the Jets 10 and the Giants 7, let's pause for this message. Greg Gant hits a high spiral, not too deep. A fair catch is signaled for and made by Athos at the 16-yard line. And there the Giants will go on offense 1st and 10. Tucker?
Pete's always got something to say. He thinks he could have broken that one, but I think he did the smart thing by catching. Look at Pete. Always got something to say. He's a character.
A lot has to do, as you were pointing out last week, with your partner back there.
It sure does. They were on him pretty good, although Spider threw a good block.
Partner gives you some wrong information, you can take a terrible lick.
That's a tough position anyway. If you don't have somebody talking to you back there, it's suicide.
Rhodes again goes in motion as they come back now to the weak side. Ron Johnson breaks one tackle, turns upfield, goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Little or no gain. The strong safety Burgess Owens, a former #1 draft choice out of Miami of Florida, now in his 3rd year, came across.
This time they used that play. They put Rhodes in motion again, going the other way. Hoping the Jets would think the same play was coming back and sent Ronnie back this way. No room, really. Good pursuit by the Jet defenders.
Unofficially, Craig Morton is 6 for 15 for 68 yards. Johnson has 5 carries for 16 yards. Dawkins 7 for 20 yards. Ron Johnson was wide open. Boy, he is tough for those linebackers to cover. Dawkins came in there. Morton came in with the ball low.
Very, very difficult to cover running one-on-one for those linebackers. Craig just didn't set up, and the ball was poorly thrown. They're really having trouble running against this Jet front four. Much improved front four, I might say.
Got to look for Morton to try to burn him deep. He had Gillette open that one time when he came back on a holding call. Now Walker Gillette goes wide to the right. And again, Rhodes is left. Open backfield, Johnson and Dawkins. Morton looking deep. Firing long. Out there is Walker Gillette. It is almost intercepted. Godwin Turk, the left side linebacker, the #1 draft choice of the Jets out of Southern University a year ago, knocked the ball down. George Hunt is coming into punt. Actually, Godwin Turk was the 2nd man selected by the Jets after Carl Barzalauskas.
That's good range for a linebacker. Anytime you get a linebacker out there to knock a pass down 10-yard square out like that one, that's good range, and I'm sure that Turk is a good athlete and has impressed, obviously, this year. Ralph Baker retired. So maybe Turk is about ready to step into that job.
Hunt angles his punt. Picone fields it. Starts upfield and is knocked down right at midfield by Giblin and Steinke. And there the Jets go on offense 1st and 10 as we're inside 2 minutes to go in the first half. And with the score, the Jets 10 and the Giants 7, let's pause for this message. Back out of Georgia, burrows his way down to the Giant 38. And he has a first down. Brian Kelly knocked him down, number 55.
Here we go. A little bit of a broken play. Burns stays in and sort of sees it's pretty good. There's a little bit of holding right there on Rich Dvorak. Who's that? Brown. Gordon Brown?
Gordon
Brown. As I said, well, I didn't say it today, but I said it before. If the referees, I think I will. If the referees really wanted to be technical, they'd get these guys holding every play, both offensively and defensively. There's just no way that these big guys don't hold once in a while. And you know, it's sort of a tough thing to say that they do hold, but you more or less have to.
That's easy for you to say.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not easy to block those big boys.
Ed Bell goes wide to the left. Barkham is in tight now. He's big enough to run as a tight end. Castor's also in as a tight end, and he's got the speed to go deep like a wide receiver. Jones looking deep, and they're going to get him. Jack Gregory, number 81, knocked him down, and the Jets call for a timeout with under a minute to play now in the first half. The second sack of the game of John Jones. Dvorak got him earlier. The Jets have only 3 first down, Tucker. They've turned the ball over twice. They have 72 yards passing unofficially, 48 yards rushing. J.J. Jones has thrown the ball 5 times, has completed 2 for 50 yards. One, of course, for 44 yards and a touchdown.
Especially for the Jets, it's been just a first half of big plays. The touchdown pass to Barkham and that end zone pass by Greg Gant, which really set up the long touchdown pass to Barkham, have been the 2 big plays, plus the turnover by the Giants for the field goal.
There you see Charlie Winter, some of his aides. It's Joe Namath with the see-through jacket so you can see that he's out there.
That's right. People pay to come to see him.
That's right. That's exactly why they have that jacket on him.
$425,000.
It is 2nd down and 16. Jones looking deep. Again, the Giants get a big rush. A man is open, Richard Kester, and he is down to the 30-yard line, very close, but not quite to a first down. So the Jets rush to go into alignment without a huddle. As time is running out here in the first half, they lead the game 10-7. Jones, the quarterback, with the play pre-called, sets his team down.
There, J.J. had plenty of time to throw the ball. This is live right here, and it looks like he threw it away just to stop the clock.
We cannot, as we mentioned earlier, give you the exact time left because the stadium clock has been out since the beginning of the game. The officials are telling the ball players just how much time they have on the clock they're keeping, but it's got to be seconds remaining now in the first half.
There has to be for him to throw the ball. Here comes the punting unit, the kicking unit. Actually, it sounds like the first half is over. I'm sure the Jets are upset about that. No, I guess that was from the stands.
So now Pat Leahy will try the field goal from the 37, a 47-yard attempt. He's got plenty of leg to get it that far. Leahy has the distance. He's good. Pat Leahy hits a 47-yard field goal as Namath is the first man out in the field to slap hands. And the Jets go in front 13-7.
Pat Leahy's on the spot. They released Bobby Halfield earlier this week, their veteran kicker. And it looks like Leahy has won the job, and I'm sure he feels that the pressure was on today, and I'm sure he's happy about that. If you recall, last year he came in when Halfield got hurt and had 2 days practice with the Jets and kicked 2 field goals and got him into overtime.
That's right, in this very game. November 10th. So now Leahy is hit from 31 yards out, from 47 yards out. That combined with a long touchdown pass to Jerome Barkham has given the Jets their 13 points. The Giants scored on a 7-yard run by Joe Dawkins. They now trail 13-7 with time almost out in the first half. Leahy kicks off. Doug Coder at the 8. Looks for the wedge in front of him. Moves out across the 20 and dives out to the 25-yard line. The clock is quickly stopped as the Giants' offensive unit comes out. Gary Backus again was on the tackle on special teams as Jack Gregory goes to the bench for the Giants, number 81, along with Peter Zach.
That's a good football player. Been around a while. It's still his son is still quite sick and missed all last week of practice, but you can see what kind of competitor he is. He is out here and with 2 days practice is playing right now and playing well.
Had an excellent game so far. Greg Morton dropping to throw, triggering a home run ball. Walker Gillette is going for it. A diving attempt is incomplete at the 18-yard line. Morton put that up from his own 15-yard line all the way down to the 20-yard line to the New York Jets. Rich Sowles was covering on the play.
Awful tough to complete those when you have a guy like Sowles, your center fielder, really hanging back. I think Ronnie Johnson was wide open about 15 yards down the field, and Bob Tucker, who we really haven't seen with a reception today, was open. So difficult to throw that bomb with everybody dropping back. I think Craig knows that, but he just had to loosen him up a little bit.
So again, the Giants break the huddle with time almost out in the first half. Ray Rhodes left, Walker Gillette is to the right. They go on the run to Joe Dawkins, and he moves straight ahead out across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. And there is the gun, and that is the end of the first half. With the score, the Jets 13 and the Giants 7. Let's pause for station identification.
You've got a mile of boxcars chasing you home. It's getting close to the end of the line. You can almost taste what's coming because the next stop is called Miller Time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we got the beer, Miller beer.
Only 6,000 miles?
And only $3,100.
31?
First money gets it.
This man needs a loan, and he needs it fast. But he has an advantage, the Chase advantage. Chase understands when you're in a hurry. And if you meet the requirements, we'll do our best to meet your deadline.
Fast enough?
I really do have a friend at Chase.
For checking, savings, or a loan in a hurry, give yourself the Chase advantage.
Have it at the 26-yard line. Jazz Jackson lost the football. Off the bottom of the pile is Tate, a linebacker. Rookie linebacker. Who's the man who got the ball? Let's watch again now. Tucker.
Ball's still slippery out there. Somebody hit his hand right there. It's tough to tell who got the recovery and who did the...
I think your man Athos might have gotten it.
Could have been. Could have been.
Giblin was on the play also, so the Giants get a break to start the second half as they get their third turnover of the game. And now they have the ball first and 10 at the Jets' 26-yard line. A handoff straight up the middle. Carey is down to about the 22-yard line as Steve Crosby gets his first work of the preseason, carrying the ball down to about the 22. He's in there with Doug Coder in the offensive backfield. The Jets are in the lead as we open the third quarter, 13-7. Scored on 2 Pat Leahy field goals and a long touchdown pass 44 yards out from Jones to Barkham. Giants lone score on a 6-yard run by Joe Dawkins. It is second and a long 6. The give is to Coder, and he is down close to the 16-yard line. Very close to a first down, but not quite there. Bill Wise, number 27, the Jets' free safety, was on the tackle, as was number 57, Rich Lewis.
This is the first time we've seen Steve Crosby. Last year he broke his ankle or a bone in his lower leg, maybe his shin, but I'm not sure, Don. But showed promise in the preseason last year, and as I said earlier, sustained that injury and didn't see any more of him, and really haven't seen him this preseason either. But showed promise, and they like him.
It is third and just over a yard. Yeah, he's a tough back, can play fullback or halfback, can catch the ball, can block. And he gets the ball now on third and short yardage, and he is down inside the 15-yard line. He is a first down for the Giants. Wise, the free safety, 27, again was on the tackle. Phil Wise is now in his 5th year out of Nebraska at Omaha. Our spotter is John Mara. Our executive assistant is Bob Stennett. It is first down and 10 for the New York Giants. The ball just inside the Jet 15-yard line. The Giants looking for a touchdown which would tie it, and there is the poor footing as Coder tried to cut back, and down he goes. Burgess Owens.
An example of how slippery it is. This little fellow's got good balance and good footing. He just loses it right away. Pretty good blocking up front there. Doesn't show it right there, but there was a hole there for a minute. There's a wrestling match right there between Mullen and Barzalauskas.
Tell you, one guy you don't hear much about that's playing a lot of football, only in his 2nd year, is Tom Mullen.
He sure
got so much notoriety, and deservedly. But Mullen was a member of the NFC All-Rookie team as the other guard. He is a 2nd-year man of Southwest Missouri. It is now 2nd down, a long 8 for the Giants. The give goes to Coder. And he is ridden down as he turns the corner. Very short gain on the play. Barzalauskas, number 77, came across, and now a couple of players have to be separated.
Maybe that's why we haven't seen Bob Tucker. He's about to get in with one of the linebackers there. They've been working on him pretty strong there. He's had a tough day. Hasn't had a reception. Had a couple plays, balls thrown to him which he felt the defender committed a foul. It's been a long day for Bobby.
Richard Neal came up, gave him a pat in the back, said, "Go on back." So you talk about Barzalauskas and Hicks. There isn't a guy out there the physical strength of Richard Neal, a 260-pound defensive end, 81.
Billy Newsom, he's a pretty big fellow.
He's fast.
Himself.
He might be a better end, but when you come to just sheer strength, this guy can pick up a tackle and throw him at the quarterback. Martin on a quick drop, puts the ball up. A man is open. Touchdown Giants. Touchdown that ties the game.
That reminded me of an alley-oop pass right there. R.C. Owens. There actually were 2 receivers down there. I think Coder was in there and Bobby Tucker. The ball was really thrown high, and more or less, I think Craig either felt like he was going to throw it away or let Bobby jump for it, and he just jumped up there above the defensive backs and got that ball. The Giants are right back in there.
Loop it right in there, and Tucker is there for the touchdown reception, and now Gogolak can put the Giants in the lead. He does. Martin is now 7 for 19 for 81 yards, and that touchdown, it puts the Giants in the lead. And now at the score, the Giants 14 and the Jets 13. Let's pause for this message.
Introducing a car tested beyond human endurance. A car that's built to survive. The new, bigger, stronger Fiat. A car that was put through such grueling tests, the drivers had to lie down after only a half hour of testing. The Fiat 131.
Down quickly with Tucker Fredrickson back at Yale Bowl, and now the Giants have come back to take the lead. They got a fumble to open the second half. They score quickly on a touchdown pass from Craig Morton to his tight end, Bob Tucker. Jazz Jackson is back deep. A line drive kickoff is fumbled by Jackson. He's up to the 10, to the 15, looks for a block and is knocked down to the 22.
They're doing some hitting out there down right now.
They are indeed. Bruce Bannon again down in special teams, number 60.
You watch those people up front right now. He bobbles the ball right there. Jazz is about to pick it up, but you watch the people up front there. There's going to be some people flying right here. Well, you can't quite see it, but I can assure you it's going on. There's a little bit of hitting right there. Suicide Squad.
Like Bama and Auburn. Jones gives the ball off to Gresham, who has scored 4 touchdowns. Look at Schmidt come across and put the hit on him. Schmidt's pretty well sewed down this middle linebacker's job.
Well, he had that fine interception last week against San Diego, which more or less tied it down for him for the time being. Big, strong, 6'3", 225, 230 with good range is what you look for in a middle linebacker to go up and down that line. And he has looked so good. They've moved Brian Kelly, as I said earlier, out to the strong side.
He's an enforcer when he hits.
He sure is.
It is now 2nd down and 5 for the Jets. The Giants have taken the lead early in the 3rd quarter. They lead 14-13. J.J. Jones hands off to Gresham, looks for the pulling guard, weaves off and is knocked down at the 30. A gain of only 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Jim Peterzak, a 260-pound offensive tackle from Eastern Michigan, who Bill Arnsparger says gets better with every game, was on the stop for the Giants.
Also a good force by Clyde Powers, who is the strong safety. Came in and knocked down the interference, knocked down Randy Rasmussen to make the play.
A lot of credit for the improved play of that defensive line to Floyd Peters, the former Eagle All-Pro, now coaches the Giant defensive line. Here is a give. Again, they go to Gresham, turns upfield, and Bob Gresham on a 3rd down and 3 carry is very close to a 1st down. Going to stop the clock with about 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The Giants are in the lead 14-13. Jets led at the half 13-7.
Well, Pete Athens tells us it's not a 1st down. He's already back about 35 yards to receive the punt. Pete's usually right.
Attendance of this game is 33,779. So you got to like football to come all the way up here in the rain.
Yeah, I don't know if you viewers can see it, but it is raining here right now. A heavy mist, they say in Connecticut.
Greg Gant from the University of Alabama. Phenomenal collegiate record, average as a punter. Hits a spiral, must be some wind down there. It's held up. Athens is going to turn it back. He crosses the 40. He weaves across the 45 and gets out to the 49-yard line. And the Giants again go on offense with good field position. Now at the score, the Giants 14 and the Jets 13. Let's pause for this message. Couple of heroes with beer muscles thrilling the crowd. Muhammad Ali.
I would hate to be a policeman today.
There is Jazz Jackson, who is really shaken up. Apparently lacerated his lower lip. 3 guys didn't make the team. Never will.
He might make the jail tonight, though.
That jail in New Haven isn't Yale, I don't think. Step down. It is 1st and 10 now for the Giants. They have taken the lead 14-13. Craig Morton hands off to Doug Coder. Turning upfield, he lunges ahead for maybe 2 yards. Got to midfield and just across it. Billy Newsom, number 87, was on the stop. You see some of those Jet defenders. Newsom, Barzalauskas, Bailey, and Neal across the front. Gallagher in now, right tackle. Front line defensive unit in for the Jets has been throughout. Both teams going front line troops both ways.
I was about to say Arnsparger in the last 3 exhibition games has not really alternated too many people in either offensive or defensive line.
Morton again triggers it again. Bob Tucker fingertip high catches the ball and gets down to the 40-yard line. On 2nd and 8, he got 9 yards and a Giant 1st down. Burgess Owens brought him down. Tough ball to catch.
I'm sure that Bobby Tucker went back to the huddle before that pass and called it. That linebacker's been working on him all day, and Bobby's been having words with everybody on that defensive unit of the Jets, and I'm sure he called that play. It's just a slip pass is all it is.
It is 1st and 10 for the Giants at the 40-yard line of the New York Jets. The rain falling a little heavier now as Walker Gillette is wide to the left and Ray Rhodes is flanked to the left. Here is the give to Crosby, a quick hitter straight up the middle. Nice trap block. Van Horn came across, picked off a defensive tackle. And Crosby rushes with the ball down inside the 35-yard line, down to about the 33.
You called it right the first time, Don. It was a give. They're just, Barzalewski's coming across so good and so aggressively. They're just letting him run out of the picture right there, and Crosby just keys whichever way he goes the opposite, and Barzalewski's really coming off the ball right now.
Barzalewski has pretty much got his own run to the front line. He'll position himself all over. This time, Simpson takes him right out of the play. Or Highland coming across.
Hey, Highland.
Give is down close to the 33-yard line. Doug Coder. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Giants at the 33-yard line of the New York Jets. Rose to the right. Bob Tucker, the tight end, is set to the right. Walker Gillette flank left. Single coverage against him and Roscoe Word. Morton sprinting out. Here's a pass to Tucker for a first down at the 24-yard line. And again, they go to their money receiver, and Bob Tucker makes the clutch reception in the rain for a first down.
They go to their money receiver, and they go to their money play. Craig Morton rolling out to his right. He rolled out one other time in the first half, this time to mess up the Jet defenders. He rolled to his left, but this time it's the way he wants to roll to his right so he can throw off his right shoulder.
What would they call that play in the huddle?
What would they call it? They got a number for it. I'm sure it's just a roll right 13 pass or 84 pass or something like that.
It is 1st and 10 for the Giants. 25-yard line of the Jets. They go to the run, and Crosby takes the ball upfield and down to the 21. He got 4. Newsom knocked him down. The Giants starting to open up the Jet defensive line much better here in the 3rd quarter.
I drew a blank when you asked me that quick, just like I used to in the huddle. Roll right.
Just got to remember your number.
It's been a while, I'll tell you.
3 back. 2nd and a long 6 for the Giants at the 21. They give on a cross slant to Coder, gets inside the 20. Down to about the 19-yard line. Newsom was on the play. Giants content to run the ball right now, looking to loosen up the Jet front, then go to the pass.
Get a chance to see some pretty good line blocking up front, some real good defensive line play, too. Well, it's a little bit tougher to see than I thought. Willie Young on a shield block to Billy Newsom's not what I was talking about, but there are some good trap blocks up front on Barzalewski. Jamie Rivers filled the hole real well, and Coder went
3rd and 3. Here's Martin putting it up, and the ball is tipped and off the hands of a pass interference call against the Jets. Burgess Owens. Burgess Owens held Bob Tucker, so it will be 1st and goal for the Giants inside the 10-yard line of the Jets. So far in the preseason against the Vikings and the Cardinals, 2 playoff teams, the Jets have given up only 1 touchdown a game. The defense has. They've given up 2 so far to the Giants, and the Giants are challenging strong now. We'll watch it again.
Bobby Tucker gets just reward here. It's about time. He finally gets one called against the defender. Pretty good rush right there.
I'll tell you. Came sailing in.
He sure did.
The ball is just inside the 10-yard line, so it is 1st and goal from there. Wide to the left goes Walker Gillette up against Roscoe Word, who's playing him nose to nose, going to try to bump and go with him. The handoff goes to Coder. Hicks blasts out, and Coder goes inside him down to the 7. He got 3. Richard Neal was on the tackle.
Billy Newsom was on the tackle. He came all the way from his right defensive end position and made the play on the other side of the field. Good pursuit by Newsom.
Young and Van Horn are the tackles of the offensive line of the Giants. Mullen and Hicks are the guards. Bob Highland is the center. Giants moving the ball well now against the Jets' front line defensive unit. Here in the 3rd quarter, the Giants have taken the lead. They're up 14-13 and challenging. Morton looks into the end zone, throws, Crosby, touchdown Giants. Steve Crosby, a gutty little football player from Fort Hays State. Arnsberger says this guy does so many things for you, even though he's been hurt, you can't cut him. And he gets a touchdown, and the Giants now move out in front 20-13.
Here we go. Just outran the linebacker. He may have had the option to go in or out depending which way the linebacker took the fake. He took the flat pass, and the ball was on target. He just outran the linebacker there. First time we've seen Crosby, was that earlier all year. Didn't see him at all during the regular season last year. Looks to be fully recovered from his broken ankle. And there's a man that's very happy.
The extra point by Gogolak is up and good. Now at the score, the Giants 21 and the Jets 13. Let's pause for this commercial message. This is Don Criqui with Tucker Fredrickson back at Yale Bowl. We have 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. And now the Giants have moved out in front 21-13 after trailing at the half 13-7. Steve Davis, number 35, is back deep for the Jets, awaiting Pete Gogolak's kickoff. Gogolak hits the ball low and deep. Fielded at the 5 by Davis, a big 218-pound running back. He's out across to the 30, and here's a penalty marker down. We might have a clip against the Jets.
You might have a choking on Pete Athis. He wrangled him down around his neck.
He throttled someone?
And he sure did. And he just grabbed a hold and just wrestled him down. We're going to have a clipping against the Jets.
With about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Jets will go on offense 1st and 10. Robert Woods and Winston Hill are their offensive tackles. Rasmussen and Petz are the guards. Wayne Mulligan is the center. Richard Castor the tight end. Jerome Barkham is in as a wide receiver. He comes out wide to the right. Eddie Bell is flanked to the left.
There's your clip right there on 53.
Gresham and Boozer are the setbacks. J.J. Jones hands off to Gresham. Tries to go wide. Giants are out there to close it down, and there's no gain. Henry Stuckey coming up from the right side corner along with Roy Hilton, number 78.
Brad Van Pelt is in on the weak side linebacker slot now, replacing Pat Hughes. There really haven't been that many changes in defensive either. Brian Kelly still the strong side linebacker. Bob Schmidt in the middle. Same front four except for Gregory. Same secondary except for Pete Athis. He's the cornerback now, which is the first time we've seen him there this year.
Kelly, Schmidt, and Hughes back the line as Jones fires and hits his man down at the 27, and Richard Castor drops the ball.
There's a case of both receiver and defender slipping. Powers slipped, and Castor slipped, and consequently missed the ball.
Here's a guy, 6'5", 228 pounds, and he's the fastest player in the New York Jet team.
They'll outlaw guys like that from this game.
He's had a lot of problems with crowds at Shea have gotten down on him for dropping balls like that one. Then he'll make the great play for you. Giants have 9 first downs. The Jets have 5. We're in the third quarter. Late in the third quarter, the Jets with the ball now. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Jones looking downfield in the rain. Puts it up over the middle, and Richard Castor makes the reception for the first down. Right back to the same play, and Castor gets it.
Here's a different sort of a view of Bob Schmidt, the middle linebacker. Good size and good range, as I said before. Tough footing. I'm sure he's really taking a little bit easy. Doesn't want to slip. And Castor really wasn't covered very well. I got a feeling Powers was down again.
So the Jets get the first down. 1st and 10 at their 28. The fake to Davis. Jones throws long. Man is open, Richard Castor. And Castor is all the way down to the Giant 48-yard line. Another big gainer and a first down.
Castor's giving Clyde Powers fits right now. Watch him get off the ball. He really got a good feel getting off the ball. Runs right past the linebacker there. There's nobody there. Pete Athis misses him, and there Clyde Powers makes the final kill.
And so now trailing 21-13 late in the third quarter, the Jets are starting to get back into the game. Richard Castor has caught 4 passes in this game for 58 yards. Markham caught the lone touchdown the Jets have scored. Then 2 Pat Leahy field goals. Jones looking deep. Home run ball. Jerome Barkham is out there. Loses the ball at the 5-yard line. Boy, Jones was right there with it, though.
He sure was. The ball was perfectly thrown. Good defending on the part of Pete Athis, and they both have good speed. Markham has got great speed. The Giants had a linebacker blitz. Van Pelt was coming in. They were picked up well by the offensive line. Ball was right there.
Great throw by John Jones from Fisk University. Really got his chance to make this team during the players' strike last summer. The Jets needed players, and one day they signed 22 free agents. He was one of them. He has now thrown 12 passes, completed 6 for 114 yards and the 1 touchdown. A 44-yard pass play to Jerome Barkham. Second down and 10 for the Jets at the 48-yard line of the Giants. Bell to the left. Jones throws. Castor swinging in under the zone. Gets the ball and gets out of bounds to the 36-yard line of the Giants. Clyde Powers came across to cover. That time the wide receivers took it deep. Eddie Bell with a deep pattern, and Castor with his great speed started to go deep and turned out. Was all alone.
They are sure laying off Castor right now. They don't want to let him get behind the defenders. Both Spider, Lockhart, and Stuckey were way off him right there. The Giants are letting out all stops. They've got deals and twists going that defensive line. They've red dogged a couple times in this drive. They've got all stops out right now.
It is now first down and 10 for the Jets. 37-yard line. Jones throws. Bell has the ball knocked free. It's picked up on the 1 hop. Brad Van Pelt figured maybe nobody noticed.
There's an exact.
Bob Schmidt had put that sting on. Dropping way back in that deep Miami zone. The linebackers get 30 yards downfield sometimes. Long yardage plays, and Schmidt just rams him.
I'll tell you, little Eddie Bell, a veteran receiver, had good hands. He's about to get whacked here pretty good, though. Oh, and Eddie Bell's playing hurt right now, too. That really has to hurt. Good hit by Bob Schmidt.
Boy,
like to see that.
Stinger.
Yes, sir.
He's the enforcer you need in the middle, the punishing tackler. Don't think Eddie Bell's going to think twice running that pattern again. Jones on long yardage has got to hurry now. Here's the rush against him. Hilton coming across and runs him out of bounds. On a 2nd and 10 play, J.J. Jones got around the corner inside the 35 to about the 33. The gun sounds and the third quarter ends. With the score, the Giants 21 and the Jets 13. Let's pause for station identification.
That is the end of the...
On the phones is number 19, Carl Summerall, the second-year quarterback out of East Carolina, the backup to Craig Morton. He was warming up. Will probably be coming in. And right now, the Jets are moving the ball. They have it 3rd and 5 at the Giant 33-yard line. The Giants are in the lead, 21-13. As we open the 4th quarter, Jones has time, triggers it. The ball is caught at the 16-yard line. And again, it is Richard Castor going downfield for his 5th reception.
Well, there's an example of a mismatch. Spider Lockhart trying to cover against Richard Castor, 6'4", 225. He just does a little turn in right here, and Spider just can't get around him. The ball's right on target. Very difficult to defend. And Spider tries to get in front and just is not able to.
Castor is in his 6th year from Jackson State. He went to the Pro Bowl last season. Finished first among all tight ends with 745 yards total yardage, almost 20 yards a catch in his 38 receptions. It is 1st and 10. Jones is looking up again, looking into the end zone. He triggers it long. Eddie Bell is out there, out of the end zone, incomplete, and a penalty marker is down. A penalty marker goes down right where Jones threw the ball. We could have a holding penalty against the Jets.
That's exactly what it is. Somebody's holding John Mendenhall. I think Wayne Mulligan held him. Eddie Bell put a real good move on Stuckey and was wide open. The ball was overthrown, but really left Stuckey standing.
I think there's been a lot of questions as to just how good the Giants are or can be. Obviously, they're not as good now as they can be, but it's pretty apparent the way they've moved the ball against one of the better defenses in the league right now. From all reports from different teams, and the frontline defense the Jets have had in all the way, that the Giants are going to be able to move the ball on anybody.
They look good. They really do. I'm just worried. You know, Arnsparger's attitude is he wants to win, and it's been obvious the last 2 games. He's won the first 2 preseason games. In this game, there's been no substitution. I hope, you know, by the end of the 6th exhibition game, these guys aren't beaten up. That's like half a season, and they're thin anyway. So that's the only thing I'd be worried about.
Now it is 1st and 20 as Jones rolls out. He's going to run with it himself. And Jones turns inside the 20 and gets out of bounds. He got back pretty much at the penalty yardage. Brad Van Pelt was across to run him out. Of course, the Jets are not going with their celebrated quarterback Joe Namath, but Jones has put the ball up often and throws with a lot of confidence. Al Woodall is not here. He's in North Carolina where his father is seriously ill. The other Jet quarterback is Bill Demery. It would appear that Jones is ahead of him in the setup for positions on the roster.
It looks like I think there's two good football teams out there. The Jets impress with Namath and Riggins back there. That's an offense to be reckoned with, and the Jet defense has really been improved by the offseason trades.
Yeah, they've gone to trades rather than going for the draft. Here is a pitch over the middle. It's going to be cut down. Emerson Boozer at the 5-yard line. Had Bob Schmidt not come across and chopped Emerson Boozer, he would have walked in untouched for a score. So the Giants now give up the pass that gets the Jets to first down. Watch it.
Emerson Boozer, good back out of the backfield, receiving back. Left. I think he put a move on Brad Van Pelt and left him. Schmidt coming over. He's about to hit Boozer.
Schmidt was a backup linebacker at Nebraska. You didn't hear that much about him. Played in the World Football League last year. He is definitely a player. Here is Jones looking to roll out. They're going to get him and throw him down for a loss at the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from there. Henry Stuckey caught him.
That was a blown play right there. You may wonder how the Giants... I got a feeling Gresham just went the wrong way here, and Jones winds up the carrier. You got to wonder how Schmidt wound up here after playing in the World Football League, and I got a feeling he didn't get paid last year and came asking for a job with the Giants.
Well, actually, the Giant linebacker coach, Marty Schottenheimer, was another assistant in the World Football League who didn't get paid at Portland.
Right.
Schmidt was his best linebacker.
Brought him with him then.
It's like heaven. The checks are good. Big crowds. Jones looks, lays it up into the end zone. Barkham catches the ball for a Jet touchdown. Great timing play by the New York Jets as J.J. Jones lays the ball up. And lanky Jerome Barkham catches his 2nd touchdown pass on Henry Stuckey.
Just a great throw. Great throw, great reception. And there again a mismatch. Barkham is 6'3", Stuckey 5'11", 6 foot. Just tough to get over the top of a guy like Barkham. That's 2 fine receptions for Barkham.
And so the New York Jets come right back into the game. This extra point can bring them to within 1 point. They are down right now 21-19. Leahy's extra point is high into the stands. That'll set off a 10-minute fight. Look at that. That's the official. You don't see the fight, but there is one. And so, with the score, the Giants 21 and the Jets 20, let's pause for this commercial message.
I want the best of my
As Pat Leahy, who just put up the extra point that brought the Jets to within 1. He has 2 field goals, has scored 8 points on the day. Is ready to kick off. And back deep for the Giants are Doug Coder to your left and Marsh White, a rookie running back from Arkansas. An angle kick goes out of bounds, so they'll kick it over from the 30-yard line. The distinguished guest in the press box is the high-scoring right winger of the New York Rangers, Rod Gilbert. Rod, is this rough in your game?
I love this action here. It's real close, Don, and I have to congratulate you and Tucker, and on especially those replays. They're really good experts here.
Thank you very much, Rod.
Good experts.
How about, can we put Schultz in here?
Oh, no. That's probably his game there, but he needs a stick, and people are not allowed to fight out there.
What about Schultz? Is he a good hockey player?
Well, he's improving with the years. You know, like he's when he first came in, he was really aggressive and known for his fighting ability. But I think he's coming around to learn the game a little more. And hell, I'm going to take him on next year anyway.
Attaboy, Rod. Right. Schultz is still skating on those double rudders. Here's Doug Coder running straight up the middle, almost breaks it loose, gets out to the 40-yard line. And so the Giants go back on offense with good field position in the 4th quarter. John Ebersole, number 55, you'll see come in to make the play for the Jets.
Jack Goder almost broke this game wide open once again. Last year, recall, he had 2 big touchdowns and really came on to do a fine job for him. Good blocking up front. He just follows the interference. Good block by Crosby. You don't see it. And just a little bit of a trip right there. And there's Obradovich is out in front of him. He's got a couple defenders out in front of him, and he could have blown it wide open.
Misconnection. There was no running back for Craig Morton to go to, and so Billy Newsome rides him down, a gain of about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Giants. The Giants holding to a 1-point lead. Tucker?
There again is an example of Arnsparger's philosophy. He wants to win this game. Summerall was warming up with an 8-point lead. It was obvious he was coming in there. All of a sudden, it's a 1-point lead, and Craig Morton is back in there.
Both teams going with frontline personnel all the way. Joe Namath has not played, will not play, out with the rib injury. Craig Morton has worked the whole game at quarterback for the Giants. Now Don Clune is in as a wide receiver. Second-year man from Penn, and Obradovich is in as the tight end. Screen pass is almost intercepted. Now it's caught. Might have been Hicks who caught the ball. Was touched by a defensive player. He can catch it. John Hicks has his first reception. If he plays 15 years, that might be his only one.
Hicks had his chance right there. Every lineman, offensive or defensive, dreams of this chance right here. And John, you may not get another chance. This is
live ball. The big guy picks it off with sure hands.
That is no fun, John says.
Ball draws the crowd. Giants gained about 2 yards on the pass play. That will go down the books as a completion to John Hicks. Great screen. Screen to Hicks. 3rd and 7. Morton throws. He had to hurry it. Comes into Clune on the 1 hop.
Morton was decked right there.
Morton got hit. Newsome, 87, and Richard Neal, 81. The 2 ends coming in wide. Both got a lick on him when he released the ball. And so now the Giants will have to punt, and the Jets trailing by 1 will get back the ball. Dave Jennings is in to punt. So far, Craig Morton is 11 for 24 throwing the ball overall. This in the rain for 114 yards and the 1 touchdown. He is 5 for 6 in the second half for 46 yards. Thrown for 2 touchdowns. Here is Jennings' punt. Roscoe Word is now back. He gets it. He gets whipped down. Hammered down hard by Robert Giblin, the defensive back from Texas at El Paso, number 28.
There's another dream play. Robert Giblin was just hoping he wouldn't ask for that fair catch. He didn't, and he got dicked.
Now at the score, the Giants 21 and the Jets 20. Let's pause for this message. Under 10 minutes to go in the game now. We're in the 4th quarter here at Yale Bowl. The Giants holding to a 1-point lead over the Jets, 21-20. The Jets build up a 10-0 lead. They led at the half 13-7. And the Giants, with 2 third-quarter touchdowns, took a 21-13 lead. Now the Jets have scored the last time they got the ball, and it's a 21-20 game. Jets with the ball, 1st and 10. J.J. Jones, the quarterback. Rolling out, looking downfield, puts it up, overthrown. Emerson Boozer going for the ball, nowhere near him. He was behind the linebacker Van Pelt and underneath the safety Athis, but the ball was way overthrown.
Good execution. The ball wasn't there, but the play really developed well. Jack Gregory stayed home and was really the only Giant defender around. Emerson Boozer was wide open. J.J. just overthrew the ball.
George Martin in as a defensive end on the right side, replacing Jack Gregory. Mendenhall and Peterzak are the tackles for the Giants. Hilton is the left end. Van Pelt, Schmidt, and Kelly back the line. It is 2nd down and 10. Second back through is Gresham. Turns the corner, and Gresham gets out across the 30-yard line. And rockets all the way out close to the 35. They're going to rule he stepped out of bounds before that. But he gets the first down for the Jets as Athos ran him out of bounds.
This guy runs with what they call reckless abandon. He really puts him up and lays him down. Good block by M. Boozer right here on Brad Van Pelt. Ties him up, and Brad just wasn't able to get out there. This guy, look at him picking him up and laying him down there. Whoopsie. Pete, that's not legal.
Gresham was acquired in a trade with the Houston Oilers. Spent most of his career with the New Orleans Saints. Comes out of West Virginia, very hard running back, good blocker. Had a very excellent preseason with the Jets so far, having scored 4 touchdowns in the first 2 games. Here is a pitch back to Gresham. Hit. Gresham gets out to about the 34-yard line, a gain of about 3. The right side cornerback Henry Stuckey made the tackle, along with Roy Hilton.
Here's a pitch back to Gresham. Same play once again. They're coming back at it. Got 10 yards the first time they're going to try. They're really working on Van Pelt. This time they got him out of there. And Stuckey comes across to make the play. Good force by Stuckey. And Mr. Mendenhall is around the area as usual. So is Roy Hilton.
Lurking. It is now second down and a long 7 for the Jets. The ball at their 34-yard line. Gresham, power sweep to the right side. Again, he turns the corner, and Bob Gresham is close to another first down as he crosses the 40. They're going to the run, and Gresham is carrying the ball. Athos made the tackle for the Giants. Good motion from the guards of the Jets. Rasmussen and Petz, who got out in front.
Same play the other way. Bob Schmidt gambled and dipped inside and tried to catch him from behind the middle linebacker, enabling Gresham to get a few extra yards there. I tell you, Schmidt has got good range, too. He's really good.
As you see here, just short of the first down. So it's going to be third down coming up now for the Jets, and about a foot to go for the first down. We are in the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes to go. The stadium clock has been out for the whole game here at Yale Bowl as rain continues to fall. It's a misting rain, not a downpour. Field is slick. Grass is thick, however, not warm at all.